Well, welcome to the Pendleton Podcast, episode number 12. Today is January the 9th of 2025. The title of this video, very, very important, From the Ashes, a Community's Comeback Story. And it's a story that has not been written yet. And it's a story that I need your help to write. I want you to be a part of it, and I want you to guide us on what this comeback looks like. And as you watch this story, think about one time that you were in a position that I'm talking about here in this video, and let me know in the comment section what you did to overcome it. Please hit the share button, the like, the follow, the subscribe, no matter what platform you're watching this on. And wow, we had in the last video nearly 10,000 views just on Facebook alone. That's a holy crap number. Thank you so much. That was wild. Lots of good comments, and I think I got back what everybody remarked on the comments. A lot of it was just thank you. We're notating all this stuff that you guys talk about. So you give us information, input on what you want to see. We're taking notes. And the good news, there's quite a bit of it that you guys have mentioned that we already have in the plan. So that's wonderful. Don't sit back and say, oh, I'm not going to put that because they're probably already planning on it. No, because that emphasizes that we're headed in the right direction with that idea. So definitely put it in there, even though you think maybe we already thought about it, because maybe we didn't. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt beat up? I mean, you take one step forward, you slide two steps back, one of those situations. Have you ever felt that way personally? But then have you ever felt like that maybe as a family? Well, my focus today, as we talk about this subject, is have you ever felt beat up as a community? And today's video is brought to you by TC Electric. Give Trent Curtis a call at 859-496-4198 for all your electric needs. You know, sometimes it's hard to find somebody for the small jobs that have to be done. And we needed Trent to fix an electrical outlet at the house. So Trent came out to the house, fixed the electrical outlet, no problem. He was prompt. He did it right the first time. And was it something I could have handled? Not really, because it was a little bit more extensive than just switching one out. And, you know, I didn't want to burn the house down, and I'm not good with fires. They're bad. They're really bad. Trent is a T sponsor at Pendleton Hills. That's why we're talking about him today, and he does great work. So give him a call to help you out with your electrical needs, large or small. So have you ever felt beat up as a community? And what am I getting at here? Well, let's go back in time. And if we go back to, let's say, the 70s, and we start to walk forward in our time, our community really has had a rough time, hasn't it? I mean, over those years, we've dealt with a lot of stuff. If you go back further, there was a time here where things were pretty good overall. And did you know that most everything that you ever needed to purchase could be found in Falmouth, also Alexandria, and even Butler? You could go new car shopping and have a selection of different brands to choose from. You could go appliance shopping. You had several selections of clothes and shoes, and really almost anything that you wanted could be found just right around here. Picture this: 5 different general stores in the city of Butler. Yeah, that's true. That was back in the 50s. Then before you know it, it changes year after year. And just like most rural towns in the U.S., the decline started. Now, I want to be crystal clear here about something in this whole time frame. Today, yesterday, decades ago, the decline, it's not anybody's fault. I'm talking about the fact that you can look at almost any rural community in America and see the same trend. It was a huge problem. There's only been a few that held on to what they had from the past, and in a more rare situation, actually make progress over what they had. We're talking about rural communities, rural America. But back to our individual story, our community. We saw the trend start in the 1980s. Small businesses started to close and not be replaced. We also saw purchasing start to shift from local to the big box locations like Walmart, Best Buy, some of those things. Driving also became more common. I mean, did you know that there was a time that going to town was a big special event? Maybe that was once a month or once every couple of weeks. And maybe once a week, but that's for most people, it was once every couple of weeks or once a month. You go to town, you do all your shopping. You'd head to the Newport Shopping Center or Covington on Madison Street and go to Coppins. Remember the cafeteria in the basement? And when you got in your car around here, guess what? You went down the road and everybody that you saw, you would wave to, and the other cars, and they'd wave back. And even going out on 27, you'd wave to the people on 27 and they'd wave back. You remember those days? That actually happened. But things started to shift in the 1980s. And as more people started driving longer distances and driving way more often than they did before, then after people started going to town more often, we were hit with the flood, of course, in 1997. And for a couple of years, there was an improvement because everybody that chose to came back all remodeled at the same time. So it looked pretty good. But after that, we saw a decline that went into overdrive. Now, everybody's shopping online and getting their stuff delivered to their door. It has been a tough set of decades for our little community. That's a community that I have to say personally, the flood, coming back with no flood insurance after that, the fire at Pendleton Hills, dealing with COVID like we all did, but boy, it was a challenge to deal with COVID with a restaurant and a fully skilled nursing facility. So what does all this mean? What is the message here? All this and several other situations we've had to deal with. It's put me in a position where I have questioned over the years, what should we do? I went back and took an inventory of each time that we had to deal with a major issue. And there were, over the decades, probably about 8 different times that personally we had to deal with a gut punch like a flood or a fire. And probably another dozen times we had to deal with different situations that were not as severe, but still quite the challenge. And the question was, what do you do after the challenge? What's the message? And there was a clear message. All right, there really was. And the message was that every time that something happened, it ended up leading to a better situation than what we had before. The problem led to a better solution. Not only that, but the bigger the problem, the better solution afterwards. You all were, of course, a big part of this message. I mean, I'm talking about the support that we had after the flood was incredible. The improvements after the problems were better than the actual problem. Each one forced me to dig deeper, to research more, to ask people questions and get the best answers. It forced me to get out of my head and look around for the answers, the improvements. And it was never me, it was we. Over the years, my friends, you, my staff, education, information, that was the answer. And I don't mean to talk about this to make me seem special, not at all. I'm talking about this to say there really are answers after problems that lead you to better situations. The morning of the fire at Pendleton Hills, I lost count of how many people came up to me and said some version of, it'll be all right. You'll be back. It'll be better than ever. And those words were some of the most impactful words and statements of my whole life. It gave me the energy to move forward. It also charged me with the responsibility to make it happen. And yikes, there were times from the fire to now that there were big question marks that would pop up, but we'd work through them and move on. Now it's been a while, but some things can't be rushed. It's not prudent. The hiccup or the problem can unveil something fantastic, something that maybe wasn't a part of the original plan, but now it needs to be. So why do this? Why build back Pendleton Hills as a destination resort with glamping and camping and restaurant, fitness center, indoor outdoor pools, playgrounds, game room, conference rooms, on and on? Why do all this? Well, as a basic statement, we either can give up or we don't. We give up on our community or we don't. So we choose not to give up, and we choose to make something great for all of us. With the help of a lot of people, we developed a plan that will change the course of our county, our area. That's a big statement, I know, but here's some crazy numbers to think about with what we have planned. In the average year, we'll have 34,000 people spend the night at Pendleton Hills camping or glamping. That's on average 34,000 people in 1 year's time. And because of all the people staying, on average, over $2 million a year will be spent outside of Pendleton Hills, outside of our business, with our neighboring businesses. How do you think that's going to, all that money, how do you think it's going to impact businesses here? How do you think that money will impact Falmouth and Butler, Alexandria, Cynthiana? What impact do you think those dollars will have on our local tourism? Did you know we have a tourism group in Pendleton County, and they're really making improvements, and they're definitely headed in the right direction? This project works hand in hand with local businesses and tourism. And that's another reason I wanted to do this project at Pendleton Hills, is to help tourism. Those numbers come from our feasibility study and the Kentucky Department of Tourism. Didn't make them up on my own at all. The professionals did. But those numbers don't even include local people playing golf, eating at the restaurant, members here locally that'll be taking advantage of the amenities like the pools and the fitness center, the game room, playroom, all that kind of stuff. It's going to take all of us to get this going. We're going to all have to be on the same page and head in the right direction. And the support, again, as I talk to people and we go through all this process, wow, you guys, you're great. It's not about me, and it's not about you or any one person. It's about us. It's about our community and taking a stand. And it's also about shining the spotlight on our assets. We aren't an industrial community. That's not what we are. We are a community with lots of beautiful areas to showcase. What makes Pendleton Hills such an asset is the beauty of the area. That's what we play into, and that's what we emphasize. We emphasize what's good. We would love for you to be involved. If you're a golfer, get involved now, because today's the best price. We aren't a discount golf course, because we have more pride than that. And I think you do also. If you are affiliated with something, don't you want it to be the best? I mean, you don't want it to be the cheapest. You don't want to point it out and say, that's where I go. It's the cheapest. It's the worst. So we work to be the best. And we're making improvements moving forward. And the golf course has come a long way in 6 years, and it will continue to improve. And if you don't play golf, we have a Build Back membership at just over $100 a month. Just like in the past, you'll have your name, your family's names on the tables in the restaurant, and then also on the honor wall when you walk in the main building. The main part of this is that you will be a part of the movement. You'll be a part of the progress. You'll be a part of writing the story of what's going to change our community, our county, our area. And listen, if you own a business, I'm going to urge you to be a part of our sponsorship and marketing program. It's a business expense that can be tax deductible, and you'll be featured in emails and social media posts and videos like today. And if you want individual help with marketing, I'd be more than happy to help you, since you're a part of the team here supporting Pendleton Hills. Pendleton Hills will be an incubator marketing program. Imagine all the people coming here, the 34,000 plus, our local crowd, seeing you as a supporter of our community. Wow. So go to pendletonhills.com/memberships and take a look. Don't forget, comment on how you fought back from a defeat and overcame adversity. Share those in the comment section. And thank you guys once again for your support. Be careful out there. Be nice to each other. We're supposed to have more snow coming, so be extra careful.